It's first person. Huh. You can beat me, you can beat me to the 19th hole. The 19th hole. You can beat me, you can beat me to the 19th hole. The 19th hole. I'm at the 19th hole, fellowshipping with a few folks. My game was on, so I won by a few strokes. Cognac and a few totes. We gon' talk about our views and let the news post. Whether a hole in one or a triple bogey. Sit down at the round table, get to know me. Black excellence, living holy. Golf carts get driven slowly while we picking stogies. We at the clubhouse for another episode. The shoes I wear when I play, they are retro.
Welcome to the 19th hole once again. I'm your host, Warren Hardy. As always, I got my partner in crime, as you know, Mr. Jay Reed, the golfer bro himself. And we have truly a very special guest. I'm gonna introduce it like this. First of all, Missouri City's own.
Fair enough.
Houston's own. Miss Maggie Noel. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Man, we thank you for taking your time out this morning to join us at the 19th hole here at Stogies. Shout out to International House of Stogies, where we host. And man, I'm happy to have you. Thank you. We've been trying for a while.
Yeah. You know, I mean, there needs to be a lot more respect put on this young lady's name.
I would agree.
A lot of people don't even know, and I didn't even know, because I met Maggie, and it was a while back, and I went for a lesson, right? But this young lady was kicking butt, not around just Houston and Mo City, but around Texas, man. So, I mean, I know she's going to tell us more, but I just want everybody to understand that this is just not some lady who, just happens to play golf. I mean, She was golf. This was like, she was Houston golf. I mean, she put us, I think you put Houston on the map as far as golf is concerned. I mean, because he has other guys who are pros, right? But they didn't bring what she brought. No. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, tell us about yourself, Maggie.
I think you did a great intro. So, like you said, I grew up in Houston, Missouri, by way of Missouri City.
You went to Marshall High School, right?
Marshall High School. I went to even as far back as Ridgegate Elementary and Crystal McCullough Middle School. So definitely in the trenches of Missouri City.
For sure.
You know what? Golf was just something that I started at such a young age. I was 6 years old, as far as I'm told anyway. But it started off as a typical daddy-daughter on the weekend, adventures. And, it was one particular visit to the golf course, and I took my first swing at Herman Park. So shout out to Herman Park golf course. And one particular trip, my dad and I went. And by the way, my dad was no professional golfer. He was no nothing. He was just the average recreational, wants to go out and hit some balls type of golfer.
So he just loved the game.
He just loved the game, and that was kind of our bonding time, I guess.
Gotcha.
So one particular trip, I was hitting balls, such a young age, but I was hitting pretty well for a little 6-year-old little girl. And there was a gentleman that was hitting balls next to us, and he just started sparking conversation with my dad. And so while I'm hitting, they're on the side just talking. And he tells my dad, she has a natural talent for the sport. You should just keep her engaged in it. Just continue to bring her out to the golf course, just keeping her interested, because as a female and being a minority, he already knew that there were, college opportunities, scholarship opportunities for girls like myself. So that just kind of clicked in my dad's head and was like, yep, this is it. So literally every weekend we were on the golf course. It turned into every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, rain, sleet, or snow. I was on that golf course. I was hitting balls. And eventually just getting into junior golf and getting into junior programs, and then from there on to collegiate, and then from there, and then the rest is history. So that's how I got started in golf. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip because, I mean, to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for golf, I mean, I've been everywhere. I've met so many awesome people, played so many golf courses. And I tell anybody, if you have a little girl, just get them interested. They don't have to be the next, pro golf or anything like that. Just getting them interested and just having them being able to take those invitations when they're invited to go to the golf course. I think that's just so important. And I'm just so grateful and thankful that my dad did it for me.
Absolutely. So, we can get back to Warren's questions, but, I just want to say, like, what you just said about getting the young girls involved and, it could take them places. We had a young lady on the podcast, and she was talking about how she had aspirations for golf. Her father got her into golf, right? She played in high school. She played in college. Becoming a pro didn't work out. However, she's the GM now over at Herman Park. Right. So, I mean, there's just so many opportunities that could come from it that are within golf and outside of golf. So, I mean, what you just said is just spot on, really.
Yeah, spot on. Shout out to Miss Dotch at Herman Park. Again, she had the similar story as you did, and so that was going to be one of my next questions. But before we get into that, we typically like to give Reed a highlight as to what we're smoking here at Our Stogies.
So today, we chose. Maggie, have you ever smoked a cigar?
Let me tell you a funny story.
Here we go. All right. Good question. Thank you.
But I didn't do it right, and I was just trying it because I've never smoked a cigar. The only thing I've ever smoked was smoked sausage. So, so when I first tried it, of course, I didn't know that you're not supposed to inhale it. And I'm pretty sure I had died in that moment. So,
yeah. Oh man, yeah, I do understand that right there. There's something about the cigar smoke that is potent.
It was cute though. I was very cute.
All right, wow, man.
Yes, indeed.
So what we're smoking here is called the Rose of Sharon.
How fitting.
Yeah, and the Rose of Sharon is a cigar by Southern Draw. The guy Robert at Southern Draw, he made this specifically for his wife, so she had a hand in the blend. And it's an Ecuadorian wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan filler. To me, it's like a perfect breakfast cigar. And like for somebody who's never smoked or someone who doesn't smoke often, when they come in and they want to try a cigar, I always recommend the Rose of Sharon because to me, it's like the perfect cigar for a seasoned aficionado to smoke in the morning, for a novice to smoke because it's really mild, but it has some really good flavors. And to me, it pairs well with coffee, it pairs well with tea, or if you just want to drink water, or some people just like chocolate milk, whatever it is.
You failed to mention mimosa. What about mimosas?
Oh, yes, a mimosa. See?
Okay.
Oh, man. That's why we have Maggie on the show. Some new ideas right there. We're going to start doing Our Stogies brunch.
We got to get you in. We got to get you in. Maybe you can host the 19th hole of Stogies brunch.
I like that.
But back to you now. So after college, were you playing pro, or were you teaching as a professional? Which one? I want to hear from you.
Timeline goes.
Yeah.
After rewind a little bit. When I was in college, I had developed what's called the yips. And what the yips are is basically just anxiety.
Warren knows what the yips are.
Oh, okay. So then we're here. So I developed, mind you, and I've been playing golf since I was 6 years old. So when I got to college, I was like, what is this? Like, I've never, ever been so nervous over such a short putt ever in my life that it was so foreign to me that I didn't know what it was to even address it properly at that time.
Yeah.
It got worse and it got worse and it got worse to the point where I eventually had to get on medication for it. Basically, anti-anxiety medication. It helped, but eventually I started kind of, needing more, just kind of becoming dependent on it. And so I just decided at that point, after I made my last putt at conference my senior year, that, I think I want to give golf a rest, because it was just a very dark and depressing time for me for something that I knew, my whole life is now kind of felt like I was being betrayed. Like, how's my body in this game that I've been my whole life now against me? So after I played my conference tournament in college, I took a year off. and decided I didn't want to play anymore. I was kind of over it. I was mentally and emotionally just kind of done with golf at that point. So after thinking about it, I came back and I played in the Texas Women's State Amateur Championship, which I somehow won. And it's still kind of surprising to me how I won that, because I literally had no drugs in sight. I literally had no medication anywhere. So I was literally still kind of having those shaky moments. Barely made the cut into the match play. Somehow won it, but hey, I did. After I played in that tournament, it kind of gave me a little bit of like gas to like really give the tour a try. And I did, because I had backing. I had sponsors at that point from winning that tournament, thankfully. Played in some mini tours, so that's when I kind of turned pro at that point. Started playing mini tours. I was playing in Arizona and in Florida a lot. Still having some issues with the shakiness. It got to the point where I did try to qualify for the LPGA. One bad hole messed up my entire opportunity. So I decided at that point, you know what, maybe let me try being on the other side of the ropes and go into teaching. Because I know the skill, I know the sport, I know the swing. I trained with the best in the country. I knew a lot of the information about the swing, and I had an eye for teaching, and I had a way of teaching with my students that they just kind of got it. I mean, Reed can tell you. So
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, I don't think Reed got it.
that was so long ago. So I will say that.
Listen, I will say this. I remember that lesson.
This is when you were at Top Golf, correct?
Yeah, that's my first met Maggie. She was at Top Golf, and I can tell you, I have never hit my irons like that ever in my life. Yeah. I mean, she had me hitting those irons, but I was like, "Well, can you drop?" No, we're gonna work on these irons. And
right.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it was a thing of beauty. Because I don't hit a draw. No, she had me hitting the baby draw. She said, "You trust me? You can do this. You do that. You're gonna get more distance. Yeah. You're gonna see that thing start to turn over." And but that's why I think it's so
down real slow.
Yeah. But that's why I think it's important for people to not to maybe get lessons more than just like once, right? Yeah. Like I remember reaching back out to her and I was like, "Maggie, man, I need some more lessons, man. She's like, "Nah, bro. I'm up here now, man. We doing some bigger things." I was like, "Gosh, are you sure? Come on, Maggie, please." So, but yeah, man, Maggie, great teacher, man. Great teacher.
So continue the timeline. So you went over into teaching for a while.
So I went into teaching. My first teaching gig was at Top Golf. So that was the first place that I started teaching. Actually, I was the very first female golf instructor for their entire company. You know, they started over the waters over in UK, and right. Now that was pretty dope, and did some really, really cool things with Top Golf. Then I went and taught at Golf Tech. Golf Tech was cool, but I'm one of those people, I'm not very technical in terms of like numbers. Yeah. In fact, I don't like numbers. I don't like math. I don't even like reading instructions. You can ask me on my job. If it comes with instructions, I don't even like to read a menu at a restaurant.
But you don't shop at IKEA then?
No, not at all. I got assembly. No, like I'm not a very technical person. So, and that's what Golf Tech is. You know, they do their lessons based on numbers and technicalities that I just could not. To this day, I still don't even know what all those numbers meant. So, but after that, I went to this place called Swanson's. He was over at Cyprus. It was a golf course in Cyprus that I would drive to, and then he had his own location. So I started giving golf lessons over there, and I enjoyed that because it was on a golf course setting. You know, it wasn't at Top Golf. It wasn't in a bay, you know, with straps and you're in a net. It was actually on a golf course, and so I really enjoyed that setting. And that is where I got voted by Golf Digest as one of the best in the country a couple years in a row. And I just want to toot my own horn and say I had a thing with our man Arnold Palmer on the cover that is definitely framed in my so, but that is where I got that title, and let me tell you, it's just been so awesome what golf has done for me, on both sides of the ropes, on playing side and also on the teaching side. Actually, I just got an email from them again trying to vote me again. I'm like, I haven't taught a golf lesson in 5 years, but
but I'll take it.
Yeah, we can change that.
It's amazing what how the impact you still have in that world, even though I'm not be in it anymore, you know.
Right. So now comes I'm still on the timeline. This is a good timeline. So now comes the transition into microblading. So how did you get your feet wet in that industry? Because I was reading to where it was like you got into it, but you were doing it kind of like, I'm just gonna say like as a side hustle, if you will, for right now, right?
That's what. It wasn't even a side hustle. It was a hobby, really.
Hobby.
Wow.
So you were teaching, in between teaching, you would do the microblading. So it's kind of a two-part question, right? So explain to the audience kind of what is microblading. Because I know guys, I mean, when I read it, I was like,
I know what microblading is. What you talking about?
okay. and then two, you know, how'd you get into that? What sparked your interest to say, you know, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a girly girl by nature. Like, I'm definitely a beauty. I'm into makeup. I'm into enhancements. I'm into, you name it. Naturally, since I was young, ever since I was young, golf was just kind of something that, you know, my life was. So, but when I'm not on the golf course, I was a girly girl. So, a funny story, even in like high school, I used to tweeze girls' eyebrows in the bathroom for like $5. I used to braid hair. I used to do all, you know, things like that when I was younger. So naturally, anything beauty-wise, you know, I was interested in. So it was one of my clients that was talking to me on the golf course. It was one of my female clients. And we started talking about eyebrows somehow. Don't even remember how we got on the topic, but she had hers done. And mind you, most females do not have perfect eyebrows. So I for sure did not have perfect eyebrows. I had very sparse brows, like crazy brows, very insecure whenever I did not have on any brow pencil or anything like that. So just a mere conversation just kind of sparked my interest in just getting it done for myself. And I was like, oh, please tell me where'd you go? You know, they look so beautiful. It's so natural on you. Still not really knowing what it was. So I went and got mine done. And when I got mine done, I saw the difference that it made in me in that instant and in that moment. And so it just kind of sparked my interest into learning how to do it just for fun, like literally just for fun, because I was already naturally, you know, into that kind of stuff. So I did my research. I went and found a place and got mine done. And again, I just wanted to try this on somebody like my friends and my family, because innately that's just who I am. I'm into the enhancements, the beauty, whatever. So I did some research on trying to learn how to do it. So I flew all the way to California to learn how to do it, came back, hit up all my family members. Hey, let me try this on you. I just learned how to do this. And I did. Now, I was not good by any means when I first started. Like, it was trash, actually. Like, it was like I royally messed some of my family members up. No wonder they're still mad at me, like, at family dinners and Thanksgiving. But I am forever grateful. But I am forever grateful that they were my guinea pigs. Okay? So, I literally did it on all my friends and family. No matter how trash it was, to their friends and to their coworkers, it looked really neat. So all of their friends and all of their coworkers started calling me.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, you know, snowballed effect into a business. Like when people ask me, I say I didn't choose it, it chose me, because I literally got so swamped that I didn't have time for golf lessons. So the question came down to, because I kind of split it up at first, I was like, okay, I'll do golf lessons in the morning and I'll go and do eyebrows in the evening. But baby, those women were calling me for those morning spots. Yeah. And when I took my choice was, do I want to make, you know, $50 this hour, or do I want to make $800 this hour? And so it became a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
So I was like, you know what? I'm teaching less and less golf and doing more and more eyebrows. It got to the point where I had to hire staff. I had to hire people to come and help me. I had no choice but to figure it out and start doing better and stop messing up on people's faces. Okay. And now, 5 years later, we're one of the biggest permanent makeup companies in the Southern region. We have a team of 4 artists. I have an office manager. We've serviced almost 10,000 clients now. And we have a school where we actually teach it. And we've taught several thousands of students as well all around the world. clients from all around the world. And there you have it.
So let me ask this question. So back on the teaching, but not so much golf, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you said you already had the knack for teaching because you knew the swing, you knew that. So when it came for you to make the decision to leave teaching golf, and you said you had to hire the staff, was it you yourself that started teaching the other ladies how to do the microblading process? So you never really left teaching theoretically.
Nope. Every single one of our technicians have come through our training. Mm-hmm. So whenever we hire, we only hire people that we've actually trained, that's gone through our curriculum in our program.
Right. So another question, did it, because your life had been so much about golf, I completely understand the financial decision, but is there like a part of you that said, man, I'm really going to miss this since I've spent so much of my life doing it?
Initially, because of the I guess the depression that came with golf at that point, when it came to the putting for me,
okay,
it was more so of a relief. It was more so of a big sigh, like, whew, finally I can kind of let that go. I loved golf. I'm forever indebted to golf. However, I always felt like naturally I was more of a girly girl that was more into like beauty things. Yep. So it was an easier transition for me emotionally anyway. But I do have moments where I do miss it. I do miss being out there on the course. I don't miss the tan lines, but I definitely miss being in that. I don't miss the bugs. It's funny. I went out not too long ago and played, and I acted like a little priss on the golf course. Like, I'm like, what are these bugs? Like, oh my gosh. Where's the bugs? Oh, yeah. Like, I didn't spend, half of my life on the golf course. So, but, just being able to travel and play different golf courses and seeing the views and the sceneries with the water and the mountains in the background. Yes, I absolutely miss that. The competitive side, hell no. Like, it's for the birds. Teaching, absolutely. I have a friend of mine who's actually picking up golf now, and I've spent a little bit of time with him, and when I do watch him swing and give him tips, I do kind of miss having that moment where I'm making a big difference in somebody's swing, and they're seeing the difference, and they're excited about, the changes that they're making in the swings and the excitement of seeing their ball go straight for the first time. Yeah. So I miss that, and, I don't have the time nor the availability in terms of like where to teach, so I don't even have a home course or anything like that. So when people ask me, am I still teaching, I can't, technically I can't because I don't have a home course that I'm hired under to give golf lessons. But I do miss seeing that, at times, and I mean, you really can't replace that in terms of, what I'm doing now. So, but initially, emotionally, it was definitely an easier transition for me than I would have thought. But from time to time, I do have moments where I do miss it.
Let me ask this question. So, like, what you went through mentally, could you relate to what Simone Biles went through in the Olympics in any way? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think I was able to quit back then. Right. So, hey, I got mental issues, and, we did try to, we did the sports sites, we read the books, we did the drills, but it was so late in the game that, I didn't know what it was. And so I didn't know how to address it or to approach it properly. Whereas when I started teaching, that was part of my lesson, was the mental game, was the mental side of it, because I never trained on the mental side of anything, And so, especially with my younger students, part of the mental lesson was for them, and part of that mental lesson was for their parents. Yeah. the amount of pressure that they put on their kids these days. So I was because of my experience, was very adamant about not just the physical training and the swing technicalities and things like that, but also the mental side of it. Because, I mean, the saying goes, golf is 90% mental, 10% skill, and that is for damn sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Very interesting. So mental health is definitely, kicked up within the last few years.
And I'm actually grateful for it.
Yeah. So knowing what you know now, because you said you got the yips during college, right? So knowing what you know now, is there anything you probably would have changed or done different? Because you said that back then you didn't know.
I definitely would have sought yoga, meditation.
Yeah.
Just learning how to change my thought process. Learning how to erase my thoughts or how to zen out, if you will.
Yeah.
Because it was all purely mental. The whole time I'm thinking to myself, don't miss. And I can easily tell myself, think more positively, but subconsciously I'm still thinking, don't miss. So it was so too far gone. But yeah, definitely if I knew what I knew now, I definitely would have adapted to meditation a lot sooner. But back then that wasn't cool. That wasn't like nobody was really talking about meditation.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, what? Breathe? What is that? So, and that's definitely something I would encourage younger players to get into, for sure.
So how do you? I don't want to stay on the mental health that long, and I'm not trying to dismiss it in no way, shape, or form. But for young girls specifically here, right? Because I have a daughter, and she's always picking up my clubs, or she's like, "Daddy," and I'm, "Hey, this is how you do it." Like I'm a teacher. Believe me,
You are.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not nowhere near. I mean, like Reed say, Warren got the yips. That's for damn sure. Because I hit a bad shot, I can't let it go. I'm like, God damn it, that blew my hole.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, we got cigars. We're outside. We're not working. I mean, we are not pros. We're not doing this for money. Let it go.
But how do you train for the mental side of it? How do you tell a young girl, look, you're young, you're black, you're about to go into this lifestyle that's practically white male dominated, which is already more pressure. Not just playing the game, but it compounds the level of pressure.
Yeah.
How do you, looking back on it, how do you train for that? How do you help someone develop through those obstacles?
Man, you know what? One of the things my dad used to always tell me, and it works too, something even as little as, like you said, when you had an errant shot, you kind of carried that energy with the next hole. My dad used to always tell me, even as little as just holding your follow through, whether it was a good shot or a bad shot. Okay. If it was a bad shot, one, you're telling your body what you did right, what you did wrong, whether it was good or bad. Not only that, but you're telling the people you're playing with, damn, even though that ball went in the water, this fool's still holding you're holding that follow through like he's real confident. So you're kind of messing with them at the same time, and also telling yourself, it's more so of a muscle memory thing where I'm trying to register, my ball just went into the water, but damn, what did I do for it to go that way? So instead of getting mad, we're kind of changing our focus to what did I do in that swing and in that moment. Mm-hmm. Not carrying that bad hole with you to the next one is very important. Okay, that's different from the yips. That's definitely not, in the same category.
Yeah.
But, that has to go with your ability to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I used to have to play 3 holes at a time. And my goal for every 3 holes, I kind of set it at the beginning of the 9 holes. The first 3 holes, I want to be even. The next set of 3 holes, I want to be 1 under. The next set of 3 holes, I want to be even. And if within that, I messed up a hole, then my goal is to try to still get back to even or to get back to whatever my initial goal was. So that way my focus isn't on that hole, but on my goal still, if that makes sense.
Yes, yep.
So, now it's like, damn, I hit a bogey on this hole, but my goal in these 3 holes was to be even. So now my focus needs to be on, let me go and try to make a birdie on this hole. Versus, damn, I just screwed up. Now I'm pissed. Now I'm mad. Now I'm even screwed up more, right? So I think always
where's the card? Yeah.
having a goal for every set of 3 holes was just always kind of what helped me. Because again, like if I had a bad hole, I'm like, well, damn, I messed that up, so let me go and try to fix it on the next hole. Versus, damn, I last hole. So it's just, things like that can definitely help you. In terms of the yips, that was more so of a fear of missing something that was so easy, and that was all self-talk, self-thinking and self-talk, positive self-talk. But it was so, like I said, so in depth in my brain and in my cranium and in my body and in my bones, to where it was so hard to shake it, to the point I had to get on medication for it. And so they helped. The medication definitely helped. But again, like I said, I started needing more. Next thing you know, I can't even walk down the damn fairway without falling over. So that's not, I'm over it.
So, but I want to go back and I want to highlight something too, right? So you said that, you kind of miss helping that individual with the shot, seeing them hit that baby draw, seeing them hit their iron straight. I want to tip my hats off to you, because you're still in the business of giving people that opportunity. Because you said now you're hiring young individuals, you're still giving them an opportunity to make money, whether it's for primary or secondary reasons. You're teaching people new skills to where they can want to go off and do their own thing. So hats off to you, because you're still in the business of teaching and giving people something that they need or wouldn't have otherwise. So I still want to say that you're still in the business, whether you realize it or not.
Yeah. Maggie's still making moves in Houston, boy.
Maggie's still making moves.
Our students, the ones that have kept on going, are doing wonderful. They're doing great jobs. They've changed their lives. They are, doing things that they otherwise probably weren't able to do before they went through our program. So to see that is very rewarding to me. And it's been great. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful ride.
So you could say, your overall calling has always been to give back. And
I have the biggest heart. I have the biggest heart, and I love giving back, and I love sharing knowledge, and I love to see people succeed, and people living their dreams and doing the things that they want to do, whether it's hitting their first straight shot or being able to give their kids, things that they never were able to before. So it's been wonderful. And I don't have children of my own, but, one day, I will be very, very grateful for the things that I've done and decisions that I've made and transitions that I've made. Because in all of it, I've enjoyed it. I can honestly say everything that I've done, golf, permanent makeup, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed.
So so is it fair to ask, so what's next for Maggie? Is it right now just, keep your head down, grinding in the business, expanding, maybe going into another avenue of beauty? I mean, have you thought about that?
And it's weird that 5 years have already passed, but right now we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary, and we stay busy. I hate to say it, but we've always been busy, but COVID actually made our business even more. We're even more busy now. So it's just been so much work for me in terms of the classes we're teaching, even clients, that's just kind of been the routine right now. We have our online stuff as well. We have our products that we sell as well. As far as expansion, I am thinking of maybe getting a bigger space, but where I am right now and the rate that we have, it's just so hard to kind of beat unless I see something that's a phenomenal deal.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where we are right now. But, we have an awesome team. We have a pretty solid team. It's hard because people ask me that all the time, would you ever think about opening another office somewhere? But the thing about what we do is that people want to come to you specifically. So irregardless if I had an office here in Dallas, everybody wants Maggie. Or everybody wants, Chris or Anna. So irregardless of how many offices we have, people travel to us specifically. So I never really saw the need to expand in terms of that. But right now, it's just head down, grinding, and just trying to continue to change lives and take more time off. I only work now. It used to be 5, so I took an extra day off so I can just relax and go play golf if I want, and be out there with the bugs and sweat and all that stuff.
Well, if you ever need a place to get away, you can always come to Hot Stogies, and I know you're not a cigar smoker, but if you ever just want to break away, you're always welcome here. You're an honorary member. You have a private room. It's all yours.
There you go. Yeah. So you said you played golf a long time ago. I want to say 2 questions. How did you do? And what's in the bag? I want to know what's in the bag.
Good question.
Listen, I to this day, my swing is still A1. Like, it's it's like riding a bike for me, honey. It's still good. I probably, without picking up the ball and all that other stuff, I probably shot a 74, 75, maybe. In the bag, I actually just ordered some new clubs earlier this year. I've swung them like 5 times. But I got the Callaway Matrix.
Okay.
And I got Titleist Fairway Woods. I got the Callaway driver, Matrix driver. I got the Queen Bee putter. Some Titleist wedges. And that's it. So I got a whole new set that's just sitting in my garage.
Only get 5 times.
For a whole set of clubs.
But like you say, I mean, you're probably, like, now when you go out, like you said, now it's the mindset of when you play now it's a complete 180 from what you were used to be, right? So you're out there with friends, you're having a good time, drinking beer, There you go. It's completely different for you now. And so it's more about that time to yourself, because you say you're trying to find time off. You're not dealing with the workplace. Mm-hmm. So it's completely different mindset. So you probably go out there and shoot even par and not even blink an eye because there's no pressure on you whatsoever. Yeah. Man, that's great.
Yeah.
This is.
I'm telling you, golf is for a livelihood. It's completely different. And, when you're playing for kicks and giggles and for recreation, it's so soothing and so relaxing and so much fun. That's why it's like Reed said, like, what's the point of like carrying all that, negativity to the next hole? We're off, we're smoking a cigar, the sun is out, we're getting a tan, we living.
Yeah.
And then the cloud, that, and then probably sipping on some brandy, some cognac, and just, elements.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But I will admit, it's easier said than done. It's so easier said than done.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm so not on that level, but I love the game. I love to play with my boys and do all that. But I mean, you're with your boys. You wanna have a good game. You still want to shoot well.
Yeah.
And it's like, still want to win. God damn it. I'm out there betting Mark or something.
Macho mentality. No.
Yeah, you're right. Just let it go. Let's let it go. Reed, we're about at time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Again, thank you so much for dialing in with us today. If you're ever in Houston, back in Mo City, please hit up our Stogies. Shoot us an email. We would love to get out there with you for a nonchalant round. I know I would. Reed would.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today.
I do have one question. Well,
go for it.
I don't know if you know, this is a serious question now, because my wife is a therapist, sound house therapy, and she wanted me to ask you this very deep question. What can you do with these eyebrows?
Yours?
Can you see them?
You have a lot. You need to work what we could do for that hair right there. We do that too. We fix that.
Okay. I like how you landed on that question.
Oh, man.
No doubt. No doubt. Anything else?
No,
Rick?
man, I'm good. I'm good.
Maggie, thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank
Once
you.
again, I'm Warren Hardy. This is my right-hand man, Jay Reed. Maggie Noel, she plays golf, microblading professional. Oh, hit her up.
Yeah. Tell us what your Instagram, website, how can people find you?
Yes, our company Instagram, we're on Facebook and Instagram. It's at MPressive Faces. Yeah, all of our information is there. Pictures, follow, email, message us. You can also book directly on our Instagram page.
Make it easy for them.
Yep.
Maggie, thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank
visiting.
you.
And we'll do our best to hit them straight. Until next time.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Bye.
I'm at the 19th hole, fellowshipping with a few folks. My game was on, so I won by a few strokes. Cognac and a few totes. We gon' talk about our views and let the news post. Whether a hole in one or a triple bogey. Sit down at the round table, get to know me. Black excellence, living holy. Golf carts get driven slowly while we picking stogies. We at the clubhouse for another episode. The shoes I wear when I play, they are retros. I got reach out in Pebble Beach. Find cigars and some leather seats, and you can let us be. You can meet me at the 19th hole, or you can beat me there. Long as you know you gon' see me there. Golf podcast for us. You can zoom in. You know where we'll be. Won't you tune in? Meaning you can beat me to the 19th hole. The 19th hole. You can beat me or you can beat me to the 19th hole. The 19th hole.